The top Americans all withdraw from the Billie Jean King qualifying rounds. Ouch. As always, this video is brought to you via the Doctrine of Fair Use, the Fair Dealing, and the Digital Millennium Act. Now, unlike other countries, the USA lineup is stacked. That's right. Top tier players that are coming up on the tour or already established. We have several of them. Not concerned there, as Madison Keys, Jessica Pegula, and Coco Gauff all withdraw from the qualifying rounds. I don't think there will be an issue at all. What do you guys think? I'm more concerned about the countries like Britain, where you have Emma Raducanu withdrawing. That concerns me, right? But Emma, she's opted to train and look after her body after the Miami Open quarterfinal run. I think that's a great choice for Emma Raducanu. She's starting to pick up momentum, and you want to see her continue to stay healthy and not overwork her body. For the United States, again, I'm not concerned. We have several top stars that can fill in as Coco, Pegula, and Keys all withdraw. I mean, we're still stacked with talent that can go over there. We have players like Emma Navarro. We have players like Katie Volley-Nets. We have players like Ashlyn Kruger that can step in. You know, even someone like Alicia Parks can go over there and get the job done. Even the younger players that are on the rise coming up, like a McCartney Kessler. The USA roster is stacked. I'm concerned with countries like Poland. Who's going to fill in for Iga Swiatek, right? So those countries concern me. But I want to take a look at Coco Gauff, guys, because we all know that Jessica Pegula, after winning Charleston WTA 500 and having that very impressive run in Miami, she has now taken out Coco Gauff as the top-ranked American on the World Tour and the world's ranked number 3. Coco slides down to number 4. But Coco, who's always classy and graceful in defeat, she had nothing but good things to say about her good friend Jessica Pegula. She applauded her and congratulated her. And we all love Pegula here at Tennis in a Minute. She's an amazing talent. She's a classy woman, always good to the fans. But let's discuss Coco. What do you guys think here? My personal opinion, and I say this with all the other top tier star athletes, you have your cycles, right? Let's pivot to Iga Swiatek. It's my goal to make sure I'm in my best conditioning at least 5 times a year. Why? The tour is in a different city, different country, different surface, constantly, right? These star players have so much going on off the court that sometimes you're just not going to have the allotted time you would like or desire to practice. However, I will state that watching Coco practice, I've seen her put in 2 hours on the court with hundreds of fans watching and just mobbing her, while some of the other star athletes 45 minutes to an hour. So Coco does put in the work, but being such a big superstar, I kind of feel that, look, it's got to affect her. And she's dating now. She's still just a young lady, 21 years old. I feel with all the business ventures she has going on, possibly it's affecting her game. And look, if you're not focused on one thing, and especially when you're a professional athlete, there's going to be distractions. It's as simple as that. Now, I want to take a look at Coco because so far through this year, as we head to clay season, Coco's 13-5, right? Last year, this time, she was 18-5. She won the Auckland Championship. This year, kind of a wash by winning the United Cup. But the difference between last year and this year is Coco made the semifinals at the Australian Open, where this year she only made the quarterfinals. She also made a quarterfinal in Dubai, where she lost to Anna Kalinskaya. Of course, at the Australian Open last year, she lost to the eventual champion, Aryna Sabalenka. And she also had a semifinal appearance at the Indian Wells before losing to the Greek Goddess. Here, this year, she's only made one quarterfinal, and that was at the Australian Open. So that's the reason in her having 5 less wins, those deep runs in Dubai and the Indian Wells. but she's got the same amount of losses. So nothing to panic there, okay? So yes, she has a few less wins, but somewhat consistent, right, as last year when she really started to turn the heat up. Now, last year, she finished the season at 54 wins and 17 losses, right? She won 3 championships, of course, that being Auckland, the Beijing Masters, and as well as the WTA Finals. Now, my personal opinion, I think Coco's getting ready for a huge clay season. All the top stars are getting ready for the Porsche Grand Prix. It would be amazing to see Coco win a Porsche. I'm sure she would give it to her dad, Corey. Listen, she's won titles out of her last 9 tournaments in 3. In terms of clay, last year she was 14-5 on clay. But people forget she's a junior French Open Slam champion. And she has a 75% win percentage on clay. Just about, a little bit under. But she wins about every 4 matches she plays on clay, 3 of them. My personal opinion, and I've talked about this in the past, Coco's so fast and explosive and athletic that I think clay, the slower surface, gives her more time to hit a more complete, accurate forehand. So I think she's going to make a lot less mistakes on clay. And if she just continues to focus on her serve, I think she'll be fine. And in my personal opinion, I think Coco will win a clay title at one of these events. Personally, I think it's going to be a Master 1000. I think either Rome or Madrid. Now, she mentioned previously that she loves to play in Rome. So I do think personally that might be the Master Championship she gets this year. And I also expect a deep run at the French Open as well. Coco has been consistent at the French Open, whether it's a quarterfinal, semifinal, or a final appearance. Now, dropping down to 4, something we do have to discuss, she will be facing Iga Swiatek a lot more. So, again, that's going to make for a lot more interesting matches as I think she starts to narrow down that head-to-head deficit. But overall, if she's going through Iga Swiatek, I think she's going to win a lot more championships because she's figured out Iga's game. And a lot of that was just focusing on, in my personal opinion, a lot of her losses were these game plans, these strategies that prevented her from using her natural instinct, her natural ability, and just going out there playing and problem solving, overthinking, doing a little bit too much, slowing down her natural attributes. So watch out, guys. Comment below. What do you think? 18-5 last year this time, 13-5 this year. The only difference is really that quarterfinal at Dubai, that semifinal at the Indian Wells, which resulted in a couple more wins. However, guys, the same amount of titles this time last year. We know Coco normally turns it up around late 3rd, 4th quarter. Nothing to be concerned about. Which tournament do you think Coco has a good chance of winning? Tennis in a minute. Comment below. I'd love to hear your feedback.